the architecture lead for this very exciting opportunity to present our work. It's probably goes without saying, but we're very humbled to be included in this architects and for this year's lecture series. So this, we've done larger projects and projects with larger budgets. This is probably the most complex project we've done to date. This is a residence of approximately 6,700 square feet with a detached three-car garage. It's located on the west side of Mercer Island, which is only about a 15-minute drive from Seattle. The site has panoramic views west towards Seattle and the other towns beyond. And the site is extremely steep, long and narrow. It's actually 50 feet wide, 400 feet long, and it has an average slope of 35%. Associated also with two large landslides in the last 20 years on the site. And zoning requirements allow us to only occupy 35 feet of the 50-foot property width and limited the height of the building to 30 feet relative to the slope of the site. So for us, the most obvious design problem presented itself early on, meaning how does one fit such a large residence in such a narrow and steep site, while meeting the stringent height limit and providing natural light to all spaces. Our solution was to carve down into the site and to develop exterior courtyard spaces that facilitate circulation down through the site, allow sunlight into the residence, and provide privacy from the neighboring properties. And so these are just conceptual models that show us starting to sort of carve into the site to create an exterior courtyard space and starting to explore the relationship of the residence itself to that outside space. As we developed the architecture of the building, we became interested in the notions of foundation and superstructure. And the final design has two primary parts: a concrete base, which contains utilitarian and less used spaces such as media room, guest room, laundry, and mechanical room, and a solid wood structure hovering above that contains the private functions of family bedrooms and bathrooms. The resulting space sandwiched between this wood structure and concrete base is where the primary living spaces occur, with large expanses of glazing that afford views through the open level of the house to the lake beyond. Now, for Tom and I, the way in which one enters the residence played a pretty primary part in how we developed the design, because it was really important to us that the main entry occur at the center of the house rather than up high near the garage and driveway. So the final design requires a person to navigate through a series of excavated exterior terraces and stairways across water features and bridges, and then down another stairway, finally arriving at a small exterior glass enclosed courtyard in the center of the residence. So you are still outside in this image, and you're enclosed, if you will, by three glass walls. And then to get into the residence, you actually open the door to your right. And these next few slides try to clarify this point. You're now looking back on that exterior stair that brought you into the middle of the house, and the door is open. This is where you're back in the main courtyard space, looking into the house at that exterior stair coming down into the house. And just a closer shot here. So this, and this is a building section through that exterior stair. So this entry sequence informed the shape of the wood volume as well as the placement and configuration of the concrete retaining walls themselves. It was also important to us how the wood volume was to be clad, to contrast with the smooth concrete site walls and the heightened journey from the driveway to the center of the house. We finally decided on a horizontal wood siding system assembled with members of alternating depth to enhance the notion of texture, shadow, and perspective. In keeping with our client's request for uncluttered and light-filled spaces and needing to address a tight construction budget, we selected a restrained interior and exterior material palette. So interior walls and ceilings are gypsum board painted white. Windows and doors are typically wood with conventional trim detailing, painted white to amplify the light entering the opening. Casework is recessed and painted white to blend into the walls, and floors are a wide plank white maple. The exceptions to this palette occur at the main living and dining room, where finishes were enhanced to reflect the importance of more frequently used public spaces. So both the ceiling and floor are treated with white oak to enhance the notion of space bound by volumes above and below. The fireplaces are sculptural steel volumes placed within the room or cast directly into the concrete wall. The kitchen cabinetries are darkly stained oak. And the window system is a floor-to-ceiling aluminum sliding door system that provides views and large openings to the exterior deck and private courtyard. One of the things that we're really pleased about on this project is how our client uses this building. And they obviously purchased this lot for the views, but once we started to develop the project around the idea of an exterior courtyard, we got excited about the introspective quality that might come out of the design. Our client was really convinced that they would spend all their time at the view end of the building, but now that they've moved in, they're almost always gathered around this small informal dining table that looks into the private courtyard space. So the next two slides just show that courtyard space again in different views. So this is for April. You know, what we do and how we spend our time really isn't that much different than what most architects do, we think. And it's probably not new to base a practice, mostly in pragmatic aspects of building and building constraints. It's also probably not new to have an interest in the envelope between the enclosing systems that separate inside from outside. These interests we explore in all the work we do for our clients, all the built work we do. And then there are moments where we sometimes choose to do some installation work. And these installations they're really results of an impulse to respond to things already built. There's this yearning to explore existing buildings and spaces without budget and program and codes. And this allows us to just simply explore them at full scale and explore the results of those interventions as things simply unto themselves or as invitations for interpretation. The source of this interest and this impulse, usually it always is the space or the building itself, and sometimes it's agonizing, it's annoying, inspiring, it keeps us up at night, and it actually detracts us from the work that we need to do. Sometimes this impulse is, this provocation is a little more subtle. It's forgotten and remembered, and forgotten and then remembered until finally we do something about it. And then lastly, in the case of these two separate buildings, these two separate installations, due to scheduling, specifically an impending demolition date, the only thing to do is sort of turn off your head and put your body into action and do something. So regardless of where this impulse or this interest comes from, there is a yearning to reveal something architectural. Now these two buildings were scheduled to be demolished to make way for buildings that we designed. And at first glance, you might not see anything out of a graffiti-clad farmhouse in Seattle, and it's a rat-infested garage. But therein is the opportunity. So, what starts out as a conversation between Rob and me pretty quickly devolves into chaos. And then, again, pretty quickly evolves into this
this play, this kind of game, that from this play and this game emerges some rules and some rule sets and some maneuvers, and they're very subtle here, but they're important to us. And though the quality of light penetrating these holes was first remembered in the Coen brothers' film Blood Simple, again, pretty quickly, that's history, and these become something else, and they become something of their own. And you know, some of the things that have come up for us and for other people are, you know, the irony between permanence and the fragility of buildings. The emergence of balloon frame construction through layers of siding. But I think more importantly for us, and more poignantly for us, it's the oneness and wholeness of that enclosing assembly when framing and plaster and sheathing and gypsum and siding become one system. So poetically, these funerals for building, we call them that too, they become celebrations of their lives, or the life that once happened in these buildings. But pragmatically, I guess, practically, they were a chance of a really good party. So that's what we did. Called some friends, got some beer, pizza, and had a party in the space. And that's it. Thank you.